So this is a part 2 on that Willow the Warrior, or whoever she calls herself, that does videos, like motivational videos for people who claim to be going through organized stalking. Now, my awareness level of the public is like this. The public has about a 3rd grade reading level, and they don't know the difference between an encyclopedia, a dictionary. You say something like organized stalking, they have no references. There's no chronological order for them. If they say, well, give me an example, you say, well, Zerzetsung. Zerzetsung is what the Stasi came up with in East Berlin and East Russia. And it was based on ideological subversion. The Stasi were a puppet government of the KGB, which is now the SVR. Goes by the SVR. Same thing though. Still the same thing. Like the Office of Strategic Services and the CIA. The name changed. Okay? But it's still the same. So you sit there and you can explain to them, yeah, in East Berlin during the Cold War, the government spent millions of dollars, billions of dollars all over Europe, but millions of dollars funding isolation, ideological subversion program. They use neighbors, co-workers, religious leaders, whoever they can get to participate in targeting a individual. And this is public, this is public information. This isn't anything like secret or only on the internet. You can go right now you go on Google and type in Stasi, Stasi, East Berlin, and then type in Zerzetsung, Zersettung. Yes, Zerzetsung. And so Scientology stalking is similar to Zerzetsung, and both of these are protocols to do what is known as gang stalking. Now, in America, the people that are out there doing this stuff, following people around, being told to wear certain colors, a lot of them are on a 3rd grade reading level. They're not that intelligent. I've sat for years and have studied classified government programs, and have studied all sorts of mind control, government assassinations, how banking works, how politics work, anything dealing with the political realm that's considered mystifying. What happened to Kennedy, or what happened to Bobby Kennedy, or who was John Wilkes Booth? I can go walking around and talk to people. Very few of them are even going to know what I'm talking about. Most of them don't even really know what a presidency is. Most of them don't even know what a presidency is. And they sit around wondering why things are the way they are. Why isn't there any jobs? Why is there so much racism? Why isn't anybody doing anything about immigration? Or why this, why that? And they look at the news, they look at CNN and ABC and all these news stations, and they read mainstream newspapers and magazines, and they have paper-thin views. They're afraid to challenge anything that's out of the ordinary. They're under mind control. The American public is under mind control, and they don't even know it. For instance, some guy, a corporation like Sony or Interscope, they can get together and put some guy, and they can take some rapper and put him on television and make him do something, and next thing you know, all over the country, people will be wearing the same clothes, doing the same thing. For instance, that rapper Nelly, that was out years ago, he took a Band-Aid and put it on his cheek, and everybody around the country started doing it for style. When Anna Nicole Smith died, people sat there for 4 months just talking about it. This is the stupidity that I'm talking about. This is stupidity that I'm talking about. And so I sit on the internet for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours speaking and educating. And the people that I'm speaking to couldn't do it for 5 minutes. They couldn't sit down for 5 minutes and explain anything to anybody. They couldn't sit down for 5 minutes and explain anything. That's outside of their basic realm of control. They couldn't sit down and explain religious hierarchy in the Catholic Church, or explain Fidel Castro or Saddam Hussein. They couldn't explain to you all the wars America's been in, what's going on in Iraq. There's people who've been to Iraq and fought in Iraq and don't even know why they were there. They don't even know what the theater of war in Iraq was about. See? And so I'm sitting back educating people on organized stalking, and then people contact me and want to say, help me to get what you're talking about. This is happening to me, and nobody will listen to me. Nobody will help me. I see you as the guy on YouTube who has all the information, or at least enough information for me to be interested. Give me something. Let me learn from you. But if they go, so that's the same thing as when they go to a store and they buy a cup of coffee. When they go into Starbucks and buy a cup of coffee, I'm thirsty. I want some caffeine. I saw your advertisement. I want some. So if they come to me and ask me for something, shouldn't I be entitled to something in return? If they go into Starbucks and they want to buy a product, they're going to have to pay for it. Starbucks isn't going to sit there and just give them coffee for nothing. Just like me, I'm not going to sit there for hours and hours and hours just giving people energy and giving people information for nothing. Then if I don't go all out and spend as much time as they want, then I'm a bad person, and I have to be ridiculed. And then some guy I don't even know in England has to sit on the YouTube for hours and talk about me, and I don't even know him. If I seen him in person, if I seen that guy in person, I don't even think he would say anything to me. If I was standing right here and that guy from England or Willow the Warrior, they wouldn't even say anything to me. I'd just be another person in the streets. But because I'm on the internet educating people, entertaining people with some of my interviews with rappers and whatnot, now for some reason, there's something wrong with me because they can't get their life straight. There's something in their life that's wrong, and I have to be the bad person. You know what I'm saying? I have to be the bad person to clarify it. You know what I'm saying? I have to be the enemy. There has to be something wrong with me because their life isn't going that good. And that's what I've been talking about for months and years. How every time I do a lecture, every time I do some research, there has to be something wrong with me. Because I won't sit there for hours and just give somebody something who wants something from me. For hours. Because I won't give somebody something and there's supposed to be something wrong with me. I'm not going to give nobody a fucking thing. Somebody wants something from me, they're going to have to take it. I'm not going to give nobody a fucking thing.